I'm Gideon. I'm 24 from West Orange, New Jersey. I love to surf, I love to bike, I love to run, and I love hiking in nature. One other hobby that I recently picked up is bucket percussion. I began playing bucket percussion in New York City 2 years ago, in the summer after I graduated college. I had been impressed by the buskers, whom I saw while walking to and from my internship across the city. I thought the whole idea of spontaneous entertainment in front of strangers was pretty cool. So one evening, I sat down on the floor in the center of the dorm room I was renting at New York University and tried my hand at playing drum beats on a plastic trash bin I found in the kitchen. I sounded pretty horrendous, but I thought about a quote I had heard: "Growth begins where comfort ends." I figured, what better way to make myself uncomfortable than by performing this unpracticed skill down on the subway tracks in New York City, where people are known for keeping to themselves and ignoring strangers. So that's exactly what I did. Roughly once a week, when I finished my day interning at Quirky, I carried a 5-gallon paint bucket and a pair of wooden drumsticks down the steps to the Green Line, the 456 trains. I sat cross-legged on the tiled subway floor with my back up against an iron column and filled the entire station with irritating, choppy beats that echoed all the way down to the ends of the dark tunnels. I played until I couldn't lift my tired shoulders any longer, or until the men working in the magazine stand asked me to leave because they were getting headaches. To say the least, I was no Chad Smith or Ringo Starr. Honestly, if I heard somebody playing the buckets like I was down there, I'm sure I'd stick my fingers in my ears and be anxious for the next train to come save me from the ruckus. But enough people gave me coins and compliments to give me the confidence to continue drumming in the subterranean concert halls of the Big Apple City week after week. And it was so fun. It was exciting to need to prove myself every 5 minutes to each train of curious heads that turned my way as subway doors slid open. Bucket percussion is a nerve-wracking hobby, but that nervousness is what makes me feel so alive while performing. Transforming a dull subway platform into a stage and converting passerbys who didn't buy tickets into an audience is an incredibly unique experience. I valued the spontaneous conversations with people who paused their busy New York hustle to watch, the babies who couldn't help but dance, and the Caribbean lady who told me, "Somebody's got the rhythm." After 5 months or so, I moved to Israel, where I had the great pleasure of playing in Tel Aviv, at the entrance to the Carmel Shuk, an open-air market, and on the Tayelet, a boardwalk that runs along the length of the entire city. I realized then that I can do this anywhere in the world. It's a miracle that all I need in order to put a smile on the faces of people of any background, any age, who speak any language is just garbage and a pair of drumsticks. I was lucky to live in Hawaii this past year, where I had many opportunities to play buckets all over the islands. I added some pieces to my drum kit and brought it with me pretty much everywhere I went. I kept the kit in the trunk of my car. It consisted of a 5-gallon paint bucket, a 2-gallon paint bucket, a wooden plank, and a tin can that sounded better and better the rustier it got. When friends rode in my passenger seat, they'd give me concerned looks when I turned corners or drove over speed bumps because the buckets clunked around in the trunk. Each time it sounded like a part of the car was falling off. One of my favorite bucket memories in Hawaii was playing at the top of Mount Haleakala during sunset while my buddy Kunta played African beats on the congos. My friend Shlomi and I sometimes carried our drums over lava rocks at high tide to lead the drum circle at Little Beach during the famous Sunday evening fire dancing parties. Playing on a Waikiki sidewalk was quite a lot of fun as well. One other thing about me that you probably would not know unless I told you is that I have Crohn's disease, an autoimmune disorder that causes inflammation in the gastrointestinal tract. Inflammatory bowel disease, which includes Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis, affects 1 in 250 Americans. That's 1.6 million people in this country alone. I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease in my senior year of high school. Over the past 6 years, I've had some scary and uncomfortable times, but overall I felt great and am blessed to be in remission, able to lead an active, independent life while enjoying many awesome adventures around the world. However, many people who suffer from inflammatory bowel disease are not as fortunate. The cause of IBD is still unknown. Many suffer from regular stomach pains and diarrhea. 75% of individuals with Crohn's disease eventually need surgery to remove a portion of their swollen intestines. This June, I decided that I wanted to go on a new adventure, to somewhere I've never lived in the world, and do something exciting, maybe even epic. that I'll always remember. I thought, what can I do that will combine my thirst for travel, my love for bucket percussion, and my interest in the development of medicines and a cure for Crohn's disease? After some thought, the answer came to me. I need to play bucket percussion at boardwalks, parks, and street corners up the California coast from San Diego to San Francisco, or perhaps as far as Portland or Vancouver, to raise money for medical research for Crohn's disease. I read up on various Crohn's medical research efforts and decided I will donate to the American Gut Project, which in my opinion is one of the most cutting-edge and promising efforts to cure inflammatory bowel disease. The lead professor, Rob Knight, and postdoc Embry Hyde are running the project out of their lab at UCSD. What they're doing is really innovative. They're sequencing the genome of bacteria in thousands of people's stool and saliva samples. They then correlate the bacteria compositions with health and lifestyle history using software that the lab wrote to better understand the cause of IBD and to better predict the unique course of the illness for each patient. In the future, this comprehensive dataset will also have the potential to guide the development of medicines and cures for Crohn's and colitis. Another cool thing about the American Gut Project is that it is one of the largest crowdsourced research efforts in the world. Participants pay for a kit so that they can send in their stool and saliva samples to enlarge the dataset. The funds I raise will subsidize the cost for more people to participate in the project. I look forward to participating in the study myself by sending in my own sample during the road trip. I'm going to film a documentary of my trip as well. The film will begin with interviews with Professor Rob Knight and Embry Hyde at their UCSD research lab. The film will also include footage of my experiences busking on boardwalks and transit stops, traveling and conversing with passerbys, as well as interviews with other individuals who have been impacted by inflammatory bowel disease. In addition to raising money for the American Gut Project, I hope to raise awareness of IBD, because the truth is not many people enjoy talking about their experiences in the bathroom. And on a larger scale, I hope to motivate all people to view misfortune as opportunity and to fully embrace our identities, from our greatest strengths to our imperfections. Because when we're real with ourselves and when we're real with each other, it becomes clear that everyone has a unique gift to share with the world.